Welcome back, and thanks for joining us. We want to turn now to Florida and the mystery still lingering about what happened to Gabby Petito and Brian Laundrie. We have now learned the remains of Brian are in the hands of an anthropologist because medical examiners could not determine his cause of death. This comes after a nationwide manhunt and search that lasted more than a month. An investigation that resulted in hundreds of tips from the public, countless resources, and man-hours looking for clues. NewsNation correspondent Brian Enton has been with us through it all of the developments, and today he spoke with Northport Police about some things that still are not adding up. And also, Brian, what's next?
Yeah, absolutely, Marnie. You know, there are things that Northport Police could not talk about until now because we now have confirmation that Brian Laundrie is dead. I started this conversation by asking them what they thought about the Laundries suddenly showing up to the reserve and finding the personal items that led to Brian Laundrie's remains. So many people don't understand how there was this 5-week search and then all of a sudden the Laundries go out at 7 a.m. and less than an hour later, personal items found, and then the remains. Are you looking into that? Is that strange to you?
This case from the onset has been odd. We've said odd over and over again. So it almost seems par for the course in this, unfortunately. I think it is a coincidence. That's my belief, wholeheartedly.
Do you think the parents knew that Brian may have gone out there to commit suicide? Do you have any information that they've known that all along?
I think that that's been on the table from the beginning. I think that that is certainly a possibility.
Was Brian Laundrie followed by police to the reserve?
No. Our intention was to keep an eye on Brian, and clearly him going out there, we missed him going out there.
So he left in the Mustang and no one knew that he left in the Mustang?
That's correct.
I mean, isn't it, we've been outside the house. I mean, was there just no one sitting outside the house watching? I mean, did someone like fall asleep?
Yeah.
I mean, how do you, it's not like he snuck out the back if he left out in the front in the Mustang.
Well, again, he wasn't wanted. There's certain things you can do with surveillance and intelligence when you're at a certain point in an investigation, when there's certain charges, where there's these types of things. You know, it just, we weren't there at that point in the case.
Cause of death for Brian Laundrie, will we ever know based on the condition of the remains?
I think so. I think that that'll be something that they piece together. You know, there was bones scattered around, so I think you have to put all that back together and then work on those details.
Do you know if there was a gun found?
I have no permissions to reveal anything other than what's been said as far as what was found there at that location.
What is the status of the notebook?
That's kind of outside of my purview here at the Northport Police Department. Certainly the FBI has that. They will utilize every tool that they have to make sure that it's handled with care. It was wet, and certainly making sure that's dried out and been able to go through will be very important.
Do you know if is anything in it legible at this point? Do you know?
I believe that there are some things that can be revealed from that. I'm not privy to exactly what's in there.
I know that Northport PD has really been under the microscope, and a lot of people are upset. You know, I mean, the Brian Laundrie disappeared, and you know, that the search didn't result in anything. I mean, do you think mistakes were made? Is Northport PD owning some of this?
Sure. I mean, I don't know that any investigation works 100% like you want it to, 100% perfectly. What I'll say is that we were the ones doing everything in our power to get answers on this. This was not, you know, if mistakes were made, there's human error involved with every investigation. It certainly wasn't from a lack of taking it seriously or hustle or knowledge. It was just sometimes things happen.
And Brian, one of the big questions is how did Brian Laundrie slip out from underneath their view when he was at the home? You have now learned that they've got cameras set up outside the Laundrie home. Police do.
Yeah, we've known this for quite some time, that there are these hidden cameras around the house. We discovered it close to a month ago, but obviously chose not to report it because no one knew where Brian Laundrie was at that point. We didn't want to interfere with the investigation. We know of at least two. There was one behind the house put in a neighbor's yard. There's another camera that was actually hid in a dumpster. We're told that at least some of the cameras did go up before Brian Laundrie disappeared.
And they're not saying yet what those cameras reveal. Brian Enton live for us in Northport, Florida tonight. Brian, thank you.